When you're in DeFi, right, and you're earning some 15, 20% yield in DeFi, I would say typically 75, 80% of that yield comes from token incentives. And the other 20, 30% or whatever it is comes from trading fees. And that could be higher or lower depending on the specific protocol. Because if you're a protocol and you're trying to incentivize user adoption, what you're doing is you're giving away free tokens to get people to put liquidity in a pool. Because if you are, say, an exchange and your pool doesn't have any liquidity, well, your protocol may as well not exist, right? So it's very important to incentivize user adoption via giving away these tokens. This is like the essence of when we talk about DeFi farming. So if you're a brand new protocol, like 98% of your yield may come from token incentives. But if you're like Curve, like a huge chunk of that yield may come from trading fees, right? Both of those things are sustainable. Like it's not a scam. People just need to grasp their head around this like concept that in like DeFi, protocols give users free equity. It's just like a thing that happens in DeFi. It's just proven to be a good and viable business model. The people who use your protocol, you give tokens. That's how you build a community. And it works really, really well. So once you kind of wrap your head around the idea that that's a thing that happens in crypto land, and it's a beautiful thing, the idea that you could just be an early adopter, a user, put no money down and just like get ownership of the thing you use, it's great, right? It's the essence of what we sometimes throw around as Web3. So once you accept that and you realize that that's not necessarily like a Ponzi game, right? It's just the equivalent to like some stock company, like, diluting shares and giving some incentives out to people. That wouldn't necessarily destroy the entire company. Like if Apple did like some dilution where they did 0.1% of their stock, they just started giving out to people who like used Apple product, like they wouldn't destroy Apple, right? And in the web world, that can incentivize growth, that can incentivize users. And then the users coming in can add value to the protocol beyond what you're giving away in terms of like printing tokens. So when we talk about DeFi farming and like farming interest rates on stablecoins, we talk about getting a 15, 20, 25% yield on our stablecoins. What we're mostly doing is getting rewarded for being early in a protocol, taking on some small amount of risk and like providing value to the ecosystem. When we're getting part of that yield from the trading fees, well, that part is easy to wrap your head around. Like if somebody wants to swap USDC for DAI, somebody has to be in the middle there providing that liquidity. And it's reasonable for them to take like a 0.3% or a 0.1% or a 0.05%, depending on what platform you're using, fee to do that. That's where fees come from. It's not a scam when we're talking about 15, 20% yield.